The respected Indian sarod player and musician Ustad Amjad Ali Khan has won many prestigious awards, including India's second highest civilian honor, the Padma Vibhushan in 2001.
These slides and glides, they are the identity of Indian classical music.
His performances are based on improvisation and are known for his technical ability to play highly complex phrases spanning 3 octaves.
I enjoy all type of performance. I enjoy chamber music also sometimes for 2,000 people. Looking at the audience, looking at the atmosphere, I decide on the stage what to play and how long to play.
He has been carrying the legacy of his forefathers and is the 6th generation of musicians playing the sarod. It's almost like being arranged by destiny. You will be a musician.
It's not only profession, it's my way of life. It's my passion.
This is Indian maestro Ustad Amjad Ali Khan. Ustad Amjad Ali Khan is a highly acclaimed Indian sarod player, an Indian string instrument similar to but smaller than the sitar. His ancestors belong to the Bangash lineage and have developed and shaped the instrument over several hundred years. This happened to be Ustad Khan's first time performing in Chinese mainland in the trio with his 2 sons, Aman Ali Bangash and Ayan Ali Bangash. Good morning, Maestro.
Good morning.
Welcome to Shanghai.
Ni hao.
Ni hao. What took you so long to perform in Chinese mainland for the first time after being on stage for 6 decades?
I know, I don't know why. I feel at home here because I love Chinese food. Thanks to Chati, the organization. So they have invited and I'm with my son, Aman and Ayan. So 3 of us are performing in Shanghai.
I have to ask you about this instrument. It's called sarod.
Sarod, S-A-R-O-D, yes.
So this is a traditional Indian instrument.
Yes, yes. My forefathers, they modified, they invented. So anywhere people, whoever is playing sarod, they are directly or indirectly, they are the disciples of our family. And it's a Persian word which means music. Sarod means music.
It means music.
Yes.
The sound does remind me of the sound of a Chinese instrument called ran.
Yes, yes. And pipa also.
And pipa too.
Yes, yes. They all belong to the family of guitar. Through music, I feel, you know, I become emotional, there's so much spirituality is involved also. The sound connects you to, you know, whoever brings us to this world.
When did you, come to that realization? Because it's a family tradition. You're the number 6 generation
yes.
of the Khan family.
Yes.
And also you belong to the lineage of the musical family tradition.
Tansen.
Yes.
Tansen, yes. Sainya Gharana.
Exactly.
Yes, yes. It's a legend that Tansen, he was the court musician of Emperor Akbar in 15th century.
Court musician.
Yes, and his music was so spiritual that sometime when he sang, it rained. Sometime when he sang, the lamps were lit up. So the music, you know, it's a very important tonic for the human mind and body, especially Indian classical music. And through good music, appealing music, even cattle, they give more milk. With the appealing music, the plants grow faster. So music is very important for every human being. If you listen to music with full concentration, you receive all the positive effect of music. I think every human being should listen to music, appealing music, because music is very, very good for the mind and body. Now people talk of yoga, you know about yoga.
Meditation.
Yes. But more than yoga, I think sound. Da, re, re, na, re, na. These slides and glides, they are the identity of Indian classical music. Indian music is connected with improvisation, but improvisation is in jazz music. All the jazz musicians, they are improvising. All the 12 notes, they have the freedom. But we don't have that kind of freedom. We have to improvise within the set rule of ascending and descending. Like if there are 5 musical notes, da ra 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 da ra 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 ra. So Indian music, we have to only improvise within these 5 notes. Da ra da ra da re da, da ra da ra da, da da ra da ra da re sa re ga pa ga pa da sa pa da ga pa re ga sa re sa da pa da sa re ga pa. So this is like scale, but we have slides and glides. Da ta re na. There are songs, there is a style of singing. Generally, a song has a literature, lyrics, the text. Oh my darling, where are you? I'm missing you. Most of the songs, they have literature or lyrics like that. But in 13th century, there was a Sufi saint, Hazrat Amir Khusro, who created Qawwali, Qawl, Qalbana. He created a style of singing called Tarana, but with no language.
Just the tone.
He created a language of syllables, language of music. Tana tom, tadare dani, dir dani. So, because language creates barrier. Language creates barriers. So he created a language of syllables and music. Tana na 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 dim, tana na 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 na, tana na 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 dim, tana. Tananum, 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 tadaredani, dakitatak, dumkitatak, ditakitatak, tirikatak, dakranda, kranda, kranda, tadaredani, tadani, dim, tanatanu. So this is called Tarana, the style of singing created in 13th century by Hazrat Amir Khusro.
Yeah, you're carrying on that tradition.
Yes, you know, when I'm playing the sarod, I'm singing through my instrument. I'm not reading music. Like European musicians, they are great. They write and they read music, but we don't read, we don't write.
Being the 6th generation of sarod players, Ustad Amjad Ali Khan hopes to share his knowledge on the spiritual nature of Indian classical music and keep the tradition alive. His first solo recital was at the age of 12, and over time, he has developed a unique style of playing clear and fast phrases. He was homeschooled by his father, Ustad Hafiz Ali Khan, who was a musician to the Indian royal family of Gwalior. In ancient India,
yes,
what was the role of music, especially, say, in court music?
Yes. You see, all the great musicians, they were the court musicians of some emperor. In every state in India, there was a Raja, there was a king, there was a ruler, and every ruler they had court musician. Like my family, we were in Gwalior, a place close to Delhi and Agra. My hometown is Gwalior, and the emperor of Gwalior, the king of Gwalior was Sindhia. So my forefathers, they were court musicians there. And my ancestral house where I was born, and my father was born, that has been converted into a museum. It is called Sarod Ghar, House of Sarod. So you are most welcome to visit Gwalior whenever you are in Delhi.
The court music house. So, being born into a family of court musicians and being the number 6 generation of a great musician's family.
Yes.
So it's almost like being arranged by destiny, you will be a musician.
Yes, it's a destiny. You are very right, because in our profession, I feel embarrassed to say profession. It's not only profession, it's my way of life. It's my passion. I did not know what is going to happen tomorrow. But my father, who was my guru, who was my sadh, preceptor and mentor, he said, please only work hard, practice, and don't think, don't plan your life. We were not allowed to plan our life. Like today, everybody wants to know what is going to happen after 5 years, or 10 years, or 20 years, but we were not allowed to think. So in classical music, one has to surrender your life. You have to surrender your life to your guru and God. In my family, we feel connected with every soul. We feel connected with every song of the world.
Like you said, music has no boundaries.
Music has no boundary.
The concept of guru and disciple has been a major aspect of classical Indian music. The guru is an individual whose role goes beyond that of a musical instructor and is responsible for guiding the disciple to enlightenment. How important is this system in the classical Indian music?
This is called oral tradition, that you hear, you learn from your guru. But now, in earlier days, a knowledgeable man was considered institution. And then today, the meaning of institution is a cemented building.
It's a conservatory.
So that is the difference. So in olden days, the students, the disciple, they used to live with the guru and they used to serve the guru like domestic help. And that submission is dying out. Now people are not as submissive, they are not so much surrendered. So everybody now fighting out for their own future. And some disciples are using guru to meet the very successful businessman or corporate house. That tradition is diluting, is dying out.
Also diluting, dying out in India.
In India also, because now there are institutions. People want degree, people want diploma for their own future. I didn't have any degree of music, but later on, so many universities, they gave me, honor me with doctorate. But I did not run after degree. I did not run after diploma.
So the modern schooling, you know, with the modern institute and the traditional way of guru and disciple system, what do you think is the biggest difference between the two?
You see, if you want to understand music, if you want to know the depth of music, you have to go to the guru. And you have to be at the feet of the master. And you have to serve him like a domestic help.
But they can be professors at the modern institutes.
The professors become musicologists. The people who are running after the degrees, they get diplomas, they are called musicologists. They are not performers. Because they have given too much time to the books. But I have given too much time to the sound. So I belong to the world of sound.
Western classical music, that's the way they were trained in modern institutes.
European classical music.
Yes.
European classical music, from the very beginning, they are connected with the paper and pen and writing. But they also had historically, at the time of Baroque music, they used to improvise in European music also. But then print music started. The great composers like Beethoven, Bach, Mozart, and Tchaikovsky of Russia. In every country, you know, there were great musicians.
So your sons, your grandsons, they have a father, a grandfather like yourself.
Yes.
So you can give them good training.
Yes, sir.
Now they're now performing with you, and the tradition is being carried within the family. So are you saying this is the best way that classical music in India is carried within a family. This is the best way.
Family or without a family. There was a very famous sitar player, Ravi Shankar. You must have heard the name. His father was not a musician, but he became very famous. But he learned from a guru. So he became internationally famous, but he did not belong to the family of musicians. His father was not a musician. So I give more credit to him. But if you are born in a family of musicians, it is an advantage, a great advantage.
As a disciple, as a student, you have to surrender full-heartedly to your guru,
Yes.
to the tradition.
Yes.
So is that controversial?
No, but tradition and convention, these two words, there's slight difference. Convention is a very unhealthy word that blindly you follow something. You are in a queue, but you don't know whether there may be a dead end, but everybody is in the queue. Queue of religion, queue of classical music. But tradition allow innovation. That my guru, my father told me, whatever he thought right, he did. And he gave me permission that please do what you think is right in your life.
So there is actually room for innovation and development.
Yes, within the tradition.
Within the tradition.
Within the tradition.
So there are certain boundaries, certain rules, but within that,
Within that.
you play your own music.
Yes, yes, that is true. But convention, you know, people just don't question. You are not supposed to question when you are blindly follow a convention. So that's a very unhealthy aspect.
Ustad Amjad Ali Khan is known for his technical mastery, unique style, and key innovations. He has simplified the instrument by removing a few strings and the resonant gourd. Nonetheless, his playing reflects the older Dhrupad tradition. So what is it that you personally brought to the playing of this instrument?
How to present Indian classical music. There is no book written about it. So the guru gives freedom to the disciple. You decide how long to perform, how short to play.
For one note?
The melody.
The melody.
The melody. How long one should play the melody. So the performer has that liberty to decide and do whatever they want. In presentation also, I have taken the liberty. There was a great poet, Rabindranath Tagore, among the Bengal. He was a composer, he was a writer, a great man. But most of his poetry was based on raga, classical ragas. But in every raga, when I played his composition, Rabindra Sangeet they call it, so I realized that Tagore took liberty and added one more note in every melody, every rag.
What is it that a young generation musician, a student can learn from this guru's disciple system that they cannot learn from an institute?
Today, this YouTube has become a guru.
Okay.
So there are so many great musicians, their performance, so many live concerts are there. So now a lot of young people, they may be disciple of anybody. So whatever they like, they learn through listening to videos and recordings. They are on a very advantageous situation, the young musicians. Because my time, I did not have those technical gadgets in my house. I did not have tape recorder even to listen to anything. So it is a good time for the younger generation. You'll be surprised to know there are about 500 sarod players all over the world.
500?
500. Sarod has become so popular now. But it belongs to the family of pipa, guitar, and banjo.
Yeah.
All these.
And banjo too.
Yes, yes. And this collaboration, I'm looking forward to perform with Beijing Symphony Orchestra or Chinese Symphony Orchestra. Because recently, as I mentioned, I think that lady, Chinese lady, she's a conductor, Shen Jiang, and she conducted my composition in America. They were performing New Jersey Symphony Orchestra, They were playing my piece. My orchestral piece is called Samagam. Samagam is a Hindi word which means confluence of many cultures.
It's great, and you have an album too, playing with the orchestra, and you also perform with your sons for the Nobel Peace Prize,
Yes, yes.
and also working with an orchestra. But more often, we see you playing with drummers, with your sons, you know, just three of you on the stage,
Yes.
sitting on your knees, very quiet and very peaceful. Very nice picture. So is it more a solo instrument?
Yes, we are all solo players. All my life, I mean, children came later in my life. I was playing alone. Then Aman is a solo sarod player, Ayan is a solo player. But when I'm writing for the orchestra, that 50, 60 musicians and sarod. So technically it is called sarod concerto. So there was sitar concerto earlier, but this is the first time in the history of Indian classical music that sarod concerto.
Yeah.
Because I was very keen that sarod should be played with the symphony orchestra. So in Nobel Peace Prize we had gone to perform, three of us, but that was only for 5 minutes.
But still, that's a grand stage. That's where people see the instrument
Yes,
being
they
played.
see it. Millions of people saw
Exactly. Ustad Amjad Ali Khan has performed in a plethora of cities, including Moscow, Paris, St. Petersburg, and Oslo. He has played a stellar role in building a bridge between Indian classical music and its global counterparts. Can you comment on the state of classical music these days back in India?
Mr. Narendra Modi is our Prime Minister, and he's encouraging art and culture. The Indian classical musicians, they are not depending on the government patronage because they are committed to music. So when the government realizes that somebody is doing well, then they encourage or by some award, some honor and this and that. So, but I love to do residency, I teach music in the universities like Stanford. I was teaching for 2 months, Bloomington, Indiana University. But the York University in England, that was my first residency. I don't teach sarod in the residency while I'm doing residency, but I'm sure in China, in Shanghai or Beijing, you must be having some music institution.
We do.
So I would love to come and do some residency to teach music, not sarod, but what is Indian music.
That would be great. That would be great.
I would love to do that. I mean, whichever university would like me to come, whether in Beijing or Shanghai,
Yes.
I would like to come and spend at least a month.
Wow.
And I will enjoy the Chinese food
Exactly. They're also very good.
and share my music with all the students.
Traditional Chinese music, it seems they have to work very hard to gain the recognition and also the acceptance among the younger generation.
Yes.
Do you share the worry too back in India?
Yes. There is similar thing happening there also. But everything, as you know, is institution, where people go and pay fee, and the teacher also get their fee of teaching. But in our Guru Shishya tradition, I never used to take money from my students. I taught them free. And I'm not an employee by the government also. So, but there is a yearly like it's a Guru Purnima. There's a day of Guru, where the disciples offer whatever they want. Poor man, rich man, whatever background he comes. That kind of present we accept as a guru. But we don't charge fee. Because knowledge, in our history of India, we were not allowed to sell our knowledge. Don't make money out of your knowledge. Just
Pass on.
pass on, donate it, help people to become musicians.
What do you think of the future of Sarod?
Future is very bright, not only sarod, but sitar, tabla, all the Indian instruments, dance, and people are interested in music. You know, film world is very, very powerful, very, very imposing. You must have seen Indian movies. They have songs and they have great music. They were great composers. But classical music is only for those who have respect and love. The classical musicians will not run after, you know, the people, but we are only available for those who have love and respect for Indian classical music. And I'm so happy that today I hear so many Chinese musicians all over the world. Brilliant violin player, brilliant cello player, Yo-Yo Ma is doing so well. Lang Lang, young boy, is doing so well. And recently, Chinese conductor, Shang Zhang was such an energetic lady, I mean, as a conductor. So I'm so proud of, you know, Chinese history, Chinese culture. A lot of Western musicians are very worried that there's so many suddenly Chinese musicians, they are in the orchestra and everywhere.
So you're happy with the state that Indian musicians or Chinese musicians are now...
Together, we are collaborating together.
Exactly.
Yes, and I admire pipa and all the instruments here.
And this time you're playing in China and you'll be facing a huge audience in the concert hall, and somehow different from the traditional way that, you know, this instrument was played for a smaller group,
Yes.
in a chamber, for the chamber musicians. So how different do you feel to be playing to a larger audience and compared to a smaller audience?
I enjoy all type of performance. I enjoy chamber music also sometime. Sometime I'm playing for 10,000 people, sometime for 2,000 people. So the quality of audience matters. What kind of audience you have, and looking at the audience, looking at the atmosphere, I decide on the stage what to play and how long to play.
You're actually connecting with the audience.
Yeah, with the audience, yes. We can gauge the warmth of the people.
Exactly.
You know, sometime there is an audience, sometime when we come on the stage, they receive us with a standing ovation. Sometime it happens, not always. But the Western culture, they give you standing ovation at the end only. But to receive with a standing ovation is a great honor. In some countries it happens.
Yeah.
I hope Chinese people, they accept, they enjoy our humble presentation, and we would like to come. I would personally, I'm looking forward to collaborate with the Symphony Orchestra of China, and also would like to do a residency here someday.
So looking forward to your concert and also to your resident lecturing in the future, and your new maybe collaboration with Chinese symphony orchestras. Thank you so much, Maestro, for your time.
Thank you so much.
All the best wishes. Thank you.
This is CGTN, China Global Television Network.
Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi highlights China's development in his UN General Assembly address. An update on the status of 300 captives rescued in Nigeria's northern